What's up, everybody, and good morning. Welcome to another episode of Spicy Adventures. Today is Wednesday, one of my last weekdays off before I start my new schedule. And let's talk about my 2024 KTM 890 SMT. As you know, I got this bike about 3 weeks ago, and I've started to add some bits and pieces to it to make it a little bit more of my own. First thing to talk about is these KTM Windscreen. This is from the 890 Adventure. It is not a direct bolt-on from the 890 Adventure. You have to buy a few bits and pieces, hardware, and this nose piece right here. The stock nose piece does not have these extension arms to make the windscreen fit, so you need to buy this nose piece, and then you need to buy the windscreen, and then you need to buy all the hardware, like the 6 rubber grommets and these 6 bolts. So it's very, very easy to take off. You take these 2 bolts here, remove them. This GPS cover slides out and back. And then you take these 4 bolts off here. There's one here and one here. And then there's another one here and another one here. And then there's 2 more bolts down here you need to remove. Then the nose piece slides out. Then you put the new nose piece in, reline up all the bolts, and then now your windscreen is good to slide on. It's good to note that you need to put the GPS slider back on first before you put on the windscreen, or unless you have some nice angled tools that will fit here, but if you don't, then you need to put this on first before the windscreen goes on last. But it works really well. It's really quiet in the cabin now. I rode this with earplugs the other day, and it is super quiet, really luxurious to ride in. And yeah, it does everything perfectly. No wind buffeting, any of that stuff. Especially for my height and size. Maybe if you're a little taller, it might affect you, but me only being 5'6", it works out really, really nice. The other components I've added are a full SW Motec crash bar. I've added the belly pan / front spoiler, they call it, and the Dusk luggage system. And then I added some bits and pieces like this cool fender decal kit and the low seat option here, and added these tank pads as well, just to give me a little protection when getting on and off the bike to not scratch the tank. As well, I've added these paddock stand spools, so that I will be able to lift the bike up and put it on a stand when I need to. Yeah, let's look at these crash bars. Very easy to mount. The instructions are pretty clean and clear, straightforward. You can either download them or they send it to you in a paper form. They kind of just, let you kind of choose on what you do and how you want to look at the instructions. I had both. I had the paper and I had the digital one, just to compare them. Yeah, and pretty straightforward. Bolts up pretty easily. There's one bolt here. There's another bolt here. The same thing on the other side. There's a mounting plate that you need to install before the crash bars go on. And then there's little spacers in between here that you need to pay attention to, and make sure you get the right spacers in there so that the mounting plate mounts correctly and is spaced out correctly. all blue Loctite everywhere. For this bolt here, for the top of the crash bar, I had to use an angled socket to get it to wrench down because it's at a weird angle. And be careful because, you know, it can sit a little not so flush sometimes, so don't torque it down until you got a really nice fitting inside of this hex head here. But yeah, the crash bar is really good. I like this build. And then the front spoiler here, it's 3 pieces. It comes in with this middle piece and the 2 side pieces, and then 6 bolts. And you put it all together before you mount it onto the motorcycle. And if you can see here, as the little bracket here goes onto the engine, then it goes the spacer, then it goes the bracket to the crash bar. And on the other side is kind of the same thing, but there's a double spacer on the other side. It has these rubber plugs that you need to mallet in, and then this is a really slick mounting system here in the middle, where you just hold the bolt back here and you take your hex wrench and you just wrench it down and it just holds into place really nicely. Yeah, really digging the way that this looks. The plate on the other side, let's take a look. If you can see, it kind of looks the same, right? There's a bolt here and another bolt up here at the top, double spacers, some washers. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory when you start to line it up with the instructions. Everything lines up perfectly. I didn't have to stretch or bend or do anything. Everything just lined up really nicely. Really, really, really good. Good job, SWMOtech. And then the low seat here, which is a true KTM power part, as you can see right here. I was able to manage with the normal seat, but I wanted just a little bit more security. Plus, I like the way that this seat looks, so I'm gonna rock this for a while and see how it goes. So far I've ridden on it a couple times, and although it's a little harder than the stock seat due to the cutout here compared to the stock seat, it's still very manageable, still very doable. So yeah, and then now my feet can touch the ground a little bit easier, and that, you know, builds a lot of confidence. Now for the Dusk system from SWMOtech, this is such a good system, you guys. I think this is the only system you should run if you're running, if you want a hard case system for the 890 SMT. You can use different boxes if you want, but I really like the Dusk system the best because it's so versatile, and they look great. They look really, really good. So first thing you do is you need to mount this rear license plate part. You remove your plate, and then this bracket here mounts onto your license plate holder with 4 bolts. There's 2 here and 2 here. Very easy to do. You do this part first. You mount this first, and then you mount your 2 side plates here. And then there's a little bracket that you slip into this little crevice here. It's like a bracket slash flange thing that just sets into there loosely, and then this bolt goes directly into it and then holds it into place. And then SWMOtech sends these new hex bolts here as well to replace the old star system type bolts that they have. So these are much friendlier to use, and you know, getting new hardware is great. And then blue Loctite everything, of course. Same thing. Oh, and then there's one little bracket here I forgot to mention. It's very important that it goes up, back. Where it goes up, in, and then back. That's how you want to mount it. And then on this side, the bracket here needs to go up out and then forward, so that it matches up with this side, because this side has the exhaust, so it mounts just a little differently. So just pay attention to that. This is a very small detail that you need to pay attention to. When I was first installing this, I think I had it backwards and it didn't line up. So like I had the left side over here and I had the right side on the left. So yeah, make sure you got these right in the right spots. Yeah, here's the quick release system, where when you grab a hold of your quick release bolts, as you can see here, it has a little T locking system. When you put it in, you just twist it and you lock it and you're good. SW Motec also sends you a little tool like this, and this one comes in handy using this flat edge on the non-exhaust side, because you can't fit a screwdriver in there, and I'll show you what I mean. So here is the side mount plate as it sits. You need to install the grommets and the two slider pins here, and you need to install the locking flange right here. Take these off, and you can see they can just fall out real easy like that, but you see the T system, they just kind of slide in and slide out by just twisting like so. So what I like to do when I mount these is I will grab my locking one first. You slide it through so that your teeth stick out, and then when you line it up, you stick it through. Get that to line up. Stick it through, push, twist, and then you hear it lock. Very easy to do. Same thing here. Get your handy dandy trusty flat screwdriver out. That's all you need for these. Sometimes it takes a little finagling, so always line up first. Stick your teeth through. You're gonna want to feel it come through, if you will. I don't know why it's not going through. Let's back it out. So sometimes I'll back it all the way out so that I can see it. You can see that I'll back it all the way out like this so I can see the teeth come through and then line up. And you can kind of hand twist that first, just to get it to set into place. Set your screwdriver in, twist, and lock. And I will do this middle one last because that one looks like it lines up the easiest. So again, here, grab your teeth, come through, line it up here, right? And then you see your teeth go through. Twist by hand a little bit so it locks. Stick your screwdriver through, lock it in. And then grab your last one. On the exhaust side, you can see how much room I have here. My screwdriver will fit. The other side does not, so that's why you need that little tool. So that sets in, push, twist, and lock into place. Now you are secure. Now this, to lock this thing down, SW Motec sends you a key that is used for all the locks. And when you lock this down, now this free spins and your racks are now locked in place and nobody can take them out. So very cool system. Now we can do the same for this side. Take these bad boys out. Use your locking set screw here. Come through, lock that one down. I like to do the middle one next because this one always seems to be off by a little bit. This is the harder one to get in, and then this always takes a little finagling here too. So like you kind of have to push back a little bit. This side I have to wrestle with a little bit more. So again, stick it through, line it up. There we go. Stick it through, line it up, push in, twist a little bit. Grab your SW Motec tool. Twist. You won't have as much torque with this, but it's still doable. Locks into place. And now I like to do this bottom one next. As you can see, I have a little bit of, you can see that you have a little bit of space here, which is always good. You always want that space so that you can see your teeth come through. Again, it's not really fitting here, so you're gonna have to push back a little bit, possibly. There we go. And then I'm always looking for my teeth. Make sure I throw all the way through. Now, if you don't have any room, you can always unlock a side so that you have a little bit more play. So this side is always a little bit tighter of a fit. I might have to unlock this one real quick so I have a little bit of movement, because I'm not getting any movement right now. Let's do that. There we go. Let's not fully lock it yet, so that I still have room here. There we go. See, it just takes a little bit of moving around. Locked in. Locked in. And this one always lines up perfectly, so I do this one last. You'll see how easy it is. That one just locks straight in. And those are your side plates, mounted perfectly. And now for the Dusk boxes. If you look at the Dusk boxes here, it has a little tooth right here. So when you open the locking mechanism to the plates, when you pull this out, you see the tooth moves back, and that's what locks it into here. So you open it. I love these grab handles. These grab handles are really nice. And now you slide it onto the pins that you've installed, and then push it up against the bike, lock it into place. Done deal. Super easy to do. Same thing for the rear. Open her up. Right. Make sure you open it. Grab your box. Slide it into the pins. Lay it down. Lock it in. Done. Take your last one. Line it up to the pins. Open her up. Push her into place. Lock her down. Now, this is the smaller box. This is the 33 liter, and the other two are 41. They're all interchangeable. I can put any box on any side I want to. Obviously, you want the smaller one on the exhaust side because the exhaust sticks out. So this bag needs to be smaller so that it's symmetrical in length, in width, I should say. Yeah, so it's symmetrical in width. That way you're not wider on this side. Now you could totally run 41 millimeters all around, but you would have to buy a separate 41 millimeter or 41 liter. You can run 41 liter all around, but if you wanted to do that, you need to buy a separate 41 liter box on the side here. And then you'd have a ton of luggage. But then just be mindful that this side's going to stick out a little farther. So if you're lane splitting, be careful because this side might hit something because it's going to stick out a little farther. Absolutely love this system. It comes with tethers right here. It's this felt lining feels great. Tons of storage. I can fit my helmet in here. It's a tight fit, but the helmet does fit if I position it perfectly. I wear a size large. I think a medium and a small helmet would fit very easily in here, but a large helmet takes a little bit of moving around. Extra large, I'm not so sure, and adventure helmets definitely do not fit in here. Maybe if you take the beak off, but yeah. And then for the locks, again, it's just a single key that does all of them. And let me lock this one. Twist that to lock it in there, and then when you twist, now it free spins, locked into place. And the same key to lock the Dusk system down. Now no one can take it from your motorcycle. As you can see, this doesn't come out, this doesn't open. Very, very slick, very, very nice. Absolutely love this Dusk system. After looking at quite a few other systems, I felt like this was the way to go. It's just so easy to use, easy to clean, yeah, and easy to manage. The last thing I did was I removed the baffle from the aero exhaust system, and oh man, it really sounds good now. I'm still running the stock cat. I'm not decatted or anything. As you can see here, I still have the cat on it. I'm not going to do all that. You know, this already came with the aero slip-on, and it sounds so good already with just the baffle removal. So that's more than enough sound. I don't want it obnoxiously loud, especially in the neighborhood I live in right here. But yeah, that's the latest updates on my KTM. Oh, my phone mount system here. I have it mounted. I have it plugged in here. There's also a plug up top, but I don't really like the reach to that. I like this reach here much better. I had to buy a small little flush mount USB system. Let me pull that out. It's very small. Has a little pin here that you just pull up so that you can pull it out of its location. And it has the USB-C and regular USB. So yeah, I like it. Tell me what you guys think. My KTM's coming along. It's gonna be ready for some long road adventure rides real soon. Yep, Supermoto touring. The touring has been added to the Supermoto ENS of this bike, and I absolutely love it so far. We've ridden it about 800-900 miles in 3 weeks to work and back, and just on some fun roads. Yeah, it's been great. Well, anyway, I hope you guys enjoy my build so far, and if this inspires you to get your KTM 890 SMT some parts. Look at some of this stuff. It's not super cheap, but it's well worth it. The crash bars were about $325. The little spoiler was about $100 or something, and then the luggage system itself is $2,000. So yeah, so not cheap, but well worth it, and you know, a good investment on your motorcycle if you want to be able to do some touring and stuff. So yeah, well guys, thanks for joining this channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.